Ilhan Omar fires back at Jerry Nadler after the senior Democrat accused her and fellow Squad member Rashida Tlaib of anti-Semitism'Rep. Omar accused Nadler of making false equivalencies. In a tweet on Friday, Nadler had accused both her and Trump of spreading growing anti-Semitism, criticized Omar and Tlaib for sharing cartoon with vile underlying message. Omar blasted back, "It is sickening to watch people make false equivalences." Of Keith Griffith for DailyMail.com, published 1633 British Summer Time, the 24th of August 2019, updated 1648 British Summer Time, the 24th of August 2019. Rep. Ilhan Omar has fired back at her fellow Democratic Representative Jerry Nadler, after Nadler accused her and Rep. Rashida Tlaib of anti-Semitism. Omar's remarks on Friday appeared to be in response to Nadler's tweet accusing both the Squad members and President Donald Trump of spreading anti-Semitism in political discourse. "The growing anti-Semitism in our political dialogue is repugnant," Nadler tweeted. "At real Donald Trump's comments about disloyalty are a vicious and dangerous anti-Semitic trope." And the Carlos Latuf cartoon, forwarded by @Rep Rashida and @Ilhan, can surely be read for its vile underlying message. Omar, a Minnesota Democrat, responded in a tweet, "It is sickening to watch people make false equivalences between the open bigotry and hatred of this president and progressives." Rep. Ilhan Omar, left, has fired back at her fellow Democratic Representative Jerry Nadler, right, after Nadler accused her and Rep. Rashida Tlaib of anti-Semitism. Donald Trump has spent his whole life targeting minorities communities, promoting hate against Black, immigrant, Muslim, Latinx, women, people with disabilities and Jewish Americans, Omar wrote. Nadler, in his criticism of Omar and Tlaib, cited a cartoon that the two freshman Democrats shared on Instagram. The cartoon depicted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu silencing Tlaib by putting his hand over her mouth and Trump doing the same gesture to Omar, and referenced a recent controversy over a planned visit to Israel by the two Democrats. The cartoon creator, Carlos Latuf, has a history of creating images that have drawn accusations of anti-Semitism. Israel denied Omar a visa but granted Tlaib permission to visit her grandmother in the West Bank, though Tlaib rejected the offer, claiming it came with unspecified restrictions. Tlaib, left, and Omar, right, drew criticism this week for sharing a controversial cartoon. The cartoon depicted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu silencing Tlaib by putting his hand over her mouth and Trump doing the same gesture to Omar. Nadler, who is Jewish, also referred in his tweet to Trump's remarks, saying Jewish people who voted for Democrats were showing a total lack of knowledge or great disloyalty. Trump clarified his remark the following day, saying, "You vote for a Democrat, you're being very disloyal to Jewish people and you're being very disloyal to Israel." In her first interview since declining Israel's invitation to visit her grandmother in the West Bank, Tlaib attacked Trump as a white supremacist. "It's been very clear to me, especially this last week, that he's scared of us," Tlaib told The Guardian in an interview published on Saturday. "He's afraid of women of color, because we're not afraid of him and we're not afraid to speak up and say that we have a white supremacist in the White House who has a hate agenda," Tlaib said. "What he's doing by choosing us for as his target is trying to distract folks from the fact that more people are living in poverty than ever, because he has failed as a president," she continued. On Friday, Tlaib also courted controversy with remarks suggesting the Israeli occupation was to blame for the bombing death of an Israeli teenager in the West Bank. Tlaib's remarks came in response to the death of Rina Schnurb, 17, who was killed in a bomb blast while hiking with her family near the Dolev settlement, northwest of Jerusalem. The Israeli military said it was being treated as a terrorist attack. It was not immediately clear if the device had been planted in advance or thrown. In her latest remarks, Tlaib expressed sympathy for the slain Israeli teen but drew criticism from some for her language. "This is absolutely tragic. My heart goes out to Rina's family. More than ever we need to support nonviolent approaches to ending the Israeli occupation and guaranteeing equal rights for all," Tlaib wrote on Twitter. "Extremism that puts innocent lives at risk moves us no closer to peace," she continued. One Twitter user responded, "I appreciate your comment. However, calling Israel's presence in the territories an occupation is false and hostile language and not conducive to peace." Another disagreed. "What else to call it? It's an occupation. Your unwillingness to call it what it is not conducive to peace. Let's block ads. Why?